What you're seeing on screen right now is rumored to be the new BMW M3. Dubbed the Neue Klasse, this is rumored to be BMW's first ever all-electric M car. So today I'm going to be telling you my thoughts on the new M3, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, that type of thing. I've been seeing a lot of comments on social media, both praising and hating the new M3, and I have to say, I see where both sides are coming from, and it's given me my stance on it, so let's talk about it, let's get started, yeah. And if you're wondering who I am, hi, I'm Phoenix Set. I have a 2018 Honda Clarity, as well as a 2016 Audi TT. Prior to that Audi TT, I also had a 1998 BMW Z3. I owned that car for about 2 years. It was an E36 Z3, and so I got to enjoy that car and see raw BMW and BMW at what people called its peak. Having such a, I guess, enthusiast BMW and from a prior BMW ownership experience, I figured that I would talk about my thoughts on the new Neue Klasse BMW M3. All right, so we're gonna come on into the Clarity and start with the first thing about this, because it's very windy outside and it's actually getting kind of chilly out there. And that's that I actually don't really mind the design. I don't mind it at all, actually. I think that it's a very interesting design, and I think it's something that only would suit a BMW. When I see this design, I think BMW. Versus with the new M3, or well, I guess the G80 and the G82 M3 and M4, I'm like, okay, you know what? That can fit BMW, yes, but I also can see it working with some other companies. Now, has it completely erased BMW out of the M3 and the M4? Not at all. I do not think that whatsoever. But that being said, though, I think the design language on the G80 and the G82 M3 and M4, it definitely does not scream BMW as much as something like, say, the E30, the E36, the E90. However, this car, I see it and I can just picture a BMW. I see it and I know that, hey, this is a BMW. And I think part of the reason for that is because of the headlight grille combination that's in the front. A lot of people have their opinions on it. I personally actually really like it. I like it a lot more than the G Series' grills because of the fact that it's not the size of Kentucky. Along with that, with the headlights, those headlights are something that I can only picture on a BMW, not any other product. It's not the traditional angel eyes, but it's still something new. It's still something that screams, hey, this is a BMW. For me personally, I'm not too sure why, but when I see them, I just associate it with a BMW. I can't see any other company doing something like that. It's kind of similar to what the Cybertruck and the Model Y Juniper have, in that it has like that weird, like slanted type of front grille, front light bar thingy. I can see that just with the, I guess, the striped lights on the Neue Klasse BMW. Now this part, this is gonna really piss people off, is that I honestly think that this car is a great homage to the E30 M3. Now you're gonna think I'm absolutely just insane for that, but my reasoning for that is because, well, for one, the car is a lot smaller than what the F Series or the G Series feels like. I've driven an F82 M4 and I've driven an F30 340i, and those cars to me, they feel very boaty. They just feel much bigger than something like, say, my Z3 was. However, judging by what BMW Group has released on the Neue Klasse, it looks to be a lot smaller than those cars. Like, it just feels like, from what it looks to be, a lot more, I guess, compact, harkening back to the days of the E36 or the E30. Along with that, it has the boxiness of those cars. You see it a lot in the angles, especially going from the rear window pillar to the trunk. So like on this Honda Clarity, for example, we see that it's a swooping coupe-ish kind of design, whilst on those cars, it's a lot more just, here's the roof, goes down, here's the trunk. And I personally really do see that a lot on the Neue Klasse, and I see it a lot in the M3 from the E30 generation, and I like it a lot. It really does give me some hope for BMW. And it's not just that, the front end of this car, you can definitely see components of the E30 coming out, in the fact that the entirety of the front end is all lined up, similar to how the E30 was, in that the headlights were here, the grille was here, and the other set of headlights were here, all in one straight linear line. I also do like this shift in design because of the fact that it doesn't keep it basically the same as it has been for the past 3 generations. If we look at the past 3 generations of BMW 3 and 4 series, we can see that it's fairly predictable. Here's an E90, here's an F80, and here's a G80. All 3 of them have a very similar, basically curvy type of view, and a lot more, I guess, flowy rather than angular like something like the E30 or E36. Now, all this being said, there are some things about this car that I just don't like. And the first thing is that around this area, the central area of the car, the passenger area, it just feels a little basic. Now, obviously, all we've seen of the Neue Klasse is camo shots. So we don't know how angular or what kind of design lines are going through this central part yet. That being said, from what I have seen, it just feels a bit basic, you know? Now, this could be my view coming from the fact that it's going from this basically coupe-ish line to a much more boxy line. And so it kind of does flatten things out and make things a bit more, I guess, simplistic. But for me personally, I feel like a good, I guess, homage car kind of pays homage to a lot of the generations prior to it. I've mentioned so much about it's an homage to the E30, it's an homage to the E36, but I don't see much homage pieces to, say, the F80 or the E90 generations of that car. And I think in that instance, that's kind of where the car falls a bit flat on its face. That's why people have a bit of a hard time going from the G80 over to the Neue Klasse, in my opinion. Along with that, the taillights, why are they up here of all things? Like, seriously, come on, BMW. Now, the other thing that I just don't like about this car from what we've seen so far is the interior. Why is it basically a T, like it's a plus sign for the steering wheel? That's just confusing to me. Along with that, the interior kind of feels like a 2015 Toyota Prius. I specifically say a 2015 Toyota Prius because I used to have a 2015 Toyota Prius. And I feel like in that car and in the Neue Klasse, they both share basically that there was a center screen here that would show you your speed. And I just never understood, why is it up here and not in the gauge cluster? I feel like having the gauge cluster, it just makes sense and it's just easy to do. Besides that, there's still not that much we really know about the interior of the Neue Klasse. I don't know how good or how bad the car is in terms of that interior, but I really want to see what BMW can do for that. Obviously, it's been very controversial on the interior and I don't really agree with much on the interior. That T-shaped steering wheel, the center speedometer screen, I don't like either of those components. They just kind of feel a bit yeah. They don't really scream BMW, such as the 3-spoke steering wheel in a lot of the BMW M cars, ranging from all the way back to the E36 days to the G80. And now the big talking point with the M3, the fact that it's electric. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that it's an electric car. BMWs for years have been doing the straight 6, and they have been doing it amazingly. Obviously, the E30 had a 4-cylinder and the E90 had a V8 in it, but they've basically gone traditionally for an inline 6-cylinder. Now, the fact that they've brought it electric, like, I will never understand that. Something like a 330i, I get making that electric. It's kind of what the direction has been going a little bit, but something like the M3, I just don't understand why they would go for that. The M3, it's known for its gas enthusiasm, and I just don't get why they would decide to just throw an electric motor into that, you know? If they called it the iM3 or like the i3M or something like that, I can get behind that. That makes a lot more sense. But to call it an M3, I'm sorry, but that just does not make it an M car. Putting an M badge on it doesn't make it an M car. Part of the M is the symbolism and the homage to what has been in the past, BMW's Performance Group. And BMW's Performance Group has always made their engines nicer, better, cooler, upgraded from what the previous blocks are. So like the N55 that's in something like, say, a BMW 335i would become the S55 that's in a BMW M3, for example. And I just feel like the electric part of it does such a dishonor to the M lineage. I think if they offer it in a gas variant and then they just so happen to have the electric one, that makes things a bit better, but I don't consider the electric part of it an M3. If they call it the i3M, that's a whole nother story, but I mean, who am I? Who knows? But I think after all of that, today's video is in fact over. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Overall, I'm really looking forward to this car, and I'm really looking forward to what it can and what it will be, in that it feels like it's just a new direction for BMW and a direction that, quite frankly, I really like. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know your thoughts about all of this, the Neue Klasse as a whole, in the comments below. And if you like what you're seeing, leave a subscribe. And just like that, I'm out. I need to drive this car back home. Peace.